It just seems like no matter what I do, Halloween gets duller every year. What do you think, Mr. Bones? You always say that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've got everything. The costume, the decorations, the festive scented candle. Its scent is Halloween. It smells of Halloween. I even bought a Funko Pop of that red-headed doll that kills people in those movies. And none of it is making Halloween feel any more special. Hang on. What did I do last year? Oh! Oh yeah, I played horror games, didn't I? You guys remember, right? It was my first ever review, back when I'd stopped doing Let's Plays and decided to make more scripted content. You know, it's funny. A lot of YouTubers actually end up not liking their first videos. Maybe it's the fact that it's only been a year, but personally, I still love old school horror games. As in the video I made, not actual horror games. We've been over this! But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that video last year, and maybe the fun I had making it is why it's still one of my favourite reviews I've ever done. But enough about last year. What am I going to do this year? I can't exactly just play old horror games again. I'll run out of interesting ones. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe I shouldn't be looking for horror. Maybe I should just be looking for games to play on Halloween. Yeah, things don't have to be horror just to be enjoyed on Halloween. I mean, think of all the Halloween specials from when you were a kid. Were they all really that scary? No, and let's be honest, a lot of games I looked at last year, I'd barely class as horror. Probably more spoopy. So, there we go, let's do that. Instead of fearing for my life like I do on a daily basis, I say for Old Hallows Eve, we gather round our cauldron, say a magic spell, and play some spoopy Halloween games. Last year I took a look at Castlevania for the NES, a game about hunting vampires that I was very good at. I figured it's only fair that we take a look at its sequel, on the SNES. You didn't think we'd play that game, did you? Ha ha ha! It was already night, you stupid fucks! Ah, Konami. This, of course, was back when they made video games. Ooh, a spooky wall covered in spiders, creepy vines, and trilobites? How long ago does this game take place, exactly? Is this a Cambrian retelling of Dracula? I could be down with that. After the title screen, we get a genuinely creepy opening text scroll in a foggy graveyard. The music in this section is so eerie and unnerving, it puts you right in the spooky mood.
Every 100 years, the forces of good mysteriously start to weaken. It turns out that it was just an iron deficiency twinned with poor exercise.
Blah blah blah, Dracula's old and he's back to eat your dog, so it's up to good old Billy Belmont to stop him. Let's go! Right away, I can see a massive improvement on the original game. Not just graphically, though that is still a major improvement, as obvious as it is, but as well to the controls. Jumping is actually jumping now. You have control over where you land, and stairs are a lot less annoying. But probably the most important update? You can now whip in multiple directions, to the sides, up, down, diagonal. You can even swing this bad boy in a circle. Also, I'm dying. No, please! The first level, much like getting a hold of estrogen, took me way longer than it needed to. I'll chalk a lot of this up to simply not knowing the controls very well. But despite the jumping certainly being better than the original, it is still a tad difficult to dodge things. Especially when you have to deal with a statue spitting fireballs at you while bats fly directly into your face! Fuck. And then the ceiling grows mold and it tries to kill you, but that's okay. I'm sure the decapitated horse heads will be friendly and not try to eat my legs. Oh, they're bastards as well. Also, good job at camouflaging the enemies into the floor, you dicks. Why not make it more hard for me? And now the flying heads from the first game are back. You know I was joking, right? On to level 2, and damn, I love this level's art style. Nothing wrong with the castle interior on the first one, mind you, but I just have a soft spot for dimly lit forests at night. It's so Halloweeny with all its graves and grabby zombie hands. All it needs are some jack-o'-lanterns and a free candy van, and it's perfect. That's either some kind of monster made of leaves, or half the sprite didn't load. And just when you thought the enemies in this game couldn't get any more weird, are those hedgehogs? When and how did Dracula think that hedgehogs would make good additions to his army of the night? Tell me, how and when did that happen?
Bleh! Oh no! How could I have made such a ridiculous shopping error?
What is it, Master? What is wrong?
I've accidentally bought 200 hedgehogs on Amazon! What am I going to do with all of these hedgehogs?
Master, forgive me, but I believe that these creatures would make wonderful minions for your army.
This is why I do not pay you anything.
I'm terribly sorry, that joke went absolutely nowhere and I've wasted everybody's time. Oh, buggery fuck, everything's come to kill me now. After this forest section, we end up in a dirty, muddy, filthy swamp place, and thanks to these birds, I have learned a new meaning of hate. The rest of this level is a nerve-wracking trundle through a watery cave, complete with death. The third level appears to be made of melted candles. At least I think that's what this is supposed to be. Candles? Bones? Earwax? Now I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about the items in this game. It wasn't much of an issue when I played the original, but wow, this game loves to give you shitty items when you don't need them. Or should I just say shitty item, because there's only really one that gets on my nerves. Now the cross is good. You throw it, it hits people, comes back and hits them again. It's basically a boomerang. Solid weapon. The knife is a forward-moving projectile, like the cross, but only one way. It's still a pretty good item. Now the real fuckery comes when you get shit like the axe. Seriously, fuck this thing. It arcs over your enemies. It misses them completely. Sure, sometimes the game gives you high above enemies where throwing it up could be useful. But then again, you can whip diagonally. So what's the point of the axe? Then there's the holy water. Okay, it's not as bad as the axe. It does at least go forward. It can be used to kill things in front of you. It just has no range. But then there's the most satisfying weapon. The stopwatch. It stops time! If you're like me and you can't stand bats, birds, and other flying bastards dodging your whip and hitting you in the face, this is the best item in the game. But items like the axe are still a huge problem. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if you could avoid it easily, but items are hidden in candles everywhere, and sometimes you don't even realize you've picked one up until you next go to use your item. Oh, and once you've picked up a weapon, it replaces the old one you had. So that's nice. The rest of this level is basically just climbing up a waterfall, which I'm very good at. I'm surprised, actually. The amount of variation in this game is really... Apparently you can moonwalk in the game. Who knew? You know, fighting this Hydra was fun and all, but I think I'm done with this one. 3 levels seems to be my limit for Castlevania games anyway. So that was Castlevania IV, a definite upgrade from the last one I played. Made some solid improvements to the combat and to the platforming. Not to mention, it had a pretty spooky atmosphere. Though it's still not fully tickling my Halloween bone, so it looks like we'll have to move on. Though, before we do... Last year in my old school horror games video, you may remember that I reviewed a certain Atari 2600 game. If so, you probably recall that I didn't exactly give it an in-depth analysis. It's shit. To make up for it, I've decided to look at the game again this year. So, let's find out why Halloween for Atari 2600 is shit. Well, for starters, it looks like this. I mean, you know, do I need to say more? Can't we just, you know, just milk the cow and get out of here? No, I must give this game a fair review. I promised, after all. So, what exactly is going on in this game? You play as Laurie Strode from the original 1978 film Halloween, and you're being stalked by the killer, Michael Myers, as is the case in said movie, and your objective is to rescue the children and bring them to the other side of the house. I'm not sure why the other side of the house is safe. I guess Michael just doesn't want to go in there for some reason? Does it trigger bad memories? Was it blessed by a priest? Is it full of bad smells? Either way, both the left and right ends of the house are safe zones from Michael, and you have to take the kids there by just kind of walking into them, I guess. I mean, the button only works half the time, so good luck with that. I will admit that the game can be a little bit tense, as Michael can pop up out of anywhere, and despite the fact that the only piece of music in the game is the Halloween theme, I do sort of like how it only plays when he's on screen. It's just a shame that the Atari couldn't handle sound at all. I shouldn't really complain about the graphics. I mean, what do you really expect? It's the Atari 2600, but man, this game looks bad. Haunted House had a style to it, and games on the Atari could look good if they used the system's limitations well. I mean, look at Pitfall. That looked almost 20 times better than old tumour legs over here. I'm done with this game now. No prizes for guessing, but it didn't exactly fill the Halloween void I've got going on here. Well, up next is a game that, sadly, wasn't actually released outside of the United States. So in order for us to play it, we'll have to use the dark magics. The dark magics of...
console emulation.
Yeah. The game in question is I Spy Spooky Mansion, which was released in 1999 for the PC. However, we'll be playing the 2010 Wii version because, I mean, that's just clearly going to be the best system to play it on. The game opens with a pretty creepy shot of the mansion, then you type in your name and have to pick a flavour of cursor. There's apple, blueberry, tomato, and piss. Once you've picked your colour, you're taken straight to the house where the door creaks open, revealing... Oh, it's the skeleton of Tyrion Lannister. So this is Skelly, and she owns the house that we've made the unfortunate mistake of entering. It's alright though, she's pretty friendly.
You've entered the house. Now the fun can begin. Too bad you can't get out the way you came in.
I will need an entire pant change.
This puzzle is a secret message which tells you how to get out of the house. To earn puzzle pieces, you have to go solve the I Spy riddles that I've hidden in this house. When you earn a piece, come back here to put it in place.
Well, you heard her. Let's go solve them puzzles! So yes, this is a point-and-click scavenger hunt game. In each room of the house there is at least one puzzle station, a table or set area that you can click on to activate. Each scene gives you a rhyming list of items to find, and when you see them, you point and click to check them off your list. Some items are hidden though, so you're able to look around the scene to help you find them, and even then, this game likes to play tricks on you. This one is fairly obvious, a drink on ice, the ice spells drink, very clever. Then it asks me for a shell, and I swear I spent 7 minutes circling this fucking board game until I saw this. Yes, sometimes the items you're looking for are actually just images of them on the walls. After you find all the items in a scene, Skelly appears from somewhere creepy and awards you a piece of the puzzle. So far I have one! Excellent. Just the rest of my life to go. Let's check out the kitchen. I'm pretty hungry and I could use a snack. Oh, lovely. The kitchen has a little mini game where you gotta make something called fly stew, but the recipe doesn't actually call for flies, so I'm pretty confused about the whole thing, really. Just stir in the raven feathers and we're done. What do you think of that, Skelly? I'm no Gordon Ramsay, but I think I did alright.
Whee! I'm flying.
Oh. That's fucking stupid. Okay, I gotta be real with you guys here. This kitchen is starting to give me the creeps. I don't like this window being open, and I think I... What the fucking... Why would you play... Is that a bloody handprint? Who was fucking murdered in this kitchen? Was it me? Was it me? Was I the one murdered in that kitchen? Is that what this is? Did you bring me forward in time to witness my own future death before it happened? What the fuck is wrong with you? You little fucking... I'm out. I'm just out. Skelly, you give me that puzzle piece and I'm getting the fuck out of this kitchen. So this is essentially the game. You go from room to room, finishing little scavenger hunts, collecting puzzle pieces as you go. I gotta say, I really like the atmosphere of this game. There's practically no music except for the little jingles that happen whenever you find things, and the visual design is on point. Very spoopy. This house is so classic Halloween horror, I love it! Each room is just brimming with festive spooks, I can barely contain myself. Eventually, you find all the puzzle pieces and complete the picture frame message. What does it say?
Stuck in this house for a long night. Time to get out, but the door is shut tight. If you want to escape, listen to this clue. The phonograph in the parlor has a message for you.
You're not serious.
The way out is not here. Head up the stairs. Under my bed, find the face made of squares.
Oh, this game better not be serious. Oh, baby, you better not Okay, we're in the kitchen again.
Is this the recipe that will help you get out? This pot of shrinking soup holds a secret, no doubt.
But that's just the fly stew from earlier, though.
Step 1. Stir in 11 tiny toadstools. But we're all out of tiny toadstools. You'll have to explore the house again to find more. Play the I Spy riddles in my house again to find 11 tiny toadstools. Let's go.
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's stupid. Fuck you. Yeah, I do not have the energy to complete this game right now. Maybe some other time. All in all though, I really enjoyed I Spy Spooky Mansion. It definitely met all my criteria for a Halloween game. Despite its cheapness, it's full of charm, from the level design, the art direction, and its characters. Skelly is great. She's weird, spooky, and probably my favourite part of this game. But sadly, this game does fall short in a few areas, though strangely none of them are actually to do with the game itself. As this game was emulated, it didn't run 100% perfectly. The lounge and dining rooms were especially slow and caused the game to chug along at times. Though I suppose it did make the speech a little scarier.
Enter if you dare. You're in for a scare.
A more glaring issue of the emulation was that since I was obviously just using a mouse instead of a Wiimote, certain tasks became a lot harder. Most notable was this 3D maze minigame that you had to tilt the Wiimote in order to play. Or in my case, use the numpad buttons that I had assigned to tilt. It didn't go so well. Oh my goodness. No! Ass! Ass! Oh, no! No! What buttons do what? No! It's back at the fucking start! Oh! It's sad, because I really enjoyed this game from what I played. If you're in America or own an American Wii and can afford the import, definitely give it a try. It's fantastically spoopy and all kinds of fun. But of course, that doesn't help us get any closer to finding the perfect Halloween game. I wonder what I've got on Steam. Let's check. Alright, let's see here. No, did that already. Oh, the memories. No. Huh, what's in here? Left 4 Dead 2, huh? Sounds good to me. How was I operating the mouse with a controller? I doubt I need to introduce the Left 4 Dead franchise to anyone in the audience, but here's the basics. It's a zombie first-person shooter developed by Valve. You play as one of 4 survivors who have to make their way from the beginning of the level all the way to the safe house at the end. On top of just regular zombies, you also have to deal with special infected, such as tanks, boomers, and hunters, just to name a few, all while trying to keep your teammates, and yourself, alive. Now I know what you're thinking. Zombies are a lot more horror than Halloween. Why are we looking at Left 4 Dead? Specifically, we're looking at Left 4 Dead 2. And the reason? Mods. Ah yes, mods. Those little benefits of PC gaming that let you do whatever the hell you want with almost any game. For better or worse. So as you can see, Left 4 Dead is a little bit too serious for my tastes. So I say we turn this drab into fab. How about a mod which turns the survivors into some glow-in-the-dark party skeletons? Well, that's pretty spooky, right? Well, it certainly makes my teammates a hell of a lot more noticeable. No more accidentally shooting them in the back. Well, okay, maybe just a little bit. These costumes are pretty cool, but just adding skeletons isn't exactly going to make the situation better on its own. By which I mean absolutely no offense, Mr. Bones. Now, I'm just going to put you over there. How about a mod which turns pills into jars of candy corn? I don't quite know what candy corn is, but I sure do love pills. Oh, my legs hurt. Tired of firing bullets? How about we change all those ammo piles into candy? Fire candy at them. Just shoot Snickers into their dicks. That'll do it. How about we replace health packs with pumpkin pies? I'm sure that's just as good as medicine. Speaking of pumpkins, I even have a mod which adds pumpkin-related decorations all over the map. Look at those cute little pumpkin boys. But none of this is enough. I mean, it's helping, but I just need more. I need more. More. Oh yeah, I should get that. Oh, this one's... Oh, ghost blood? Why the hell wouldn't I want ghost blood? Look at all this stuff, it's just... Yes. Behold. Left 4 Dead. Improved! I think I Halloweened too much? Okay, that bit didn't entirely go as planned, but as you can see, Left 4 Dead is now fully Halloween. Look at the little ghosties, look at the bright spoopy colours, oh, it's almost perfect. Almost, because it's Left 4 Dead, and the AI is fucking useless. Here's the thing, Left 4 Dead is a multiplayer game. It's designed to be played by 4 people online, and usually you can get through most of the levels of a single player campaign fine on your own, but the last section usually requires some level of human thinking. Now sometimes this might just mean that you have to retrieve every single gas can yourself, and it just takes longer. But sometimes it can just straight up get you killed, as was the case here. The last objective was literally just to run to the safe house while a never-ending horde attacked you. With players this would be fine, as you could strategize a little, help each other more effectively. But with bots? Yeah, this was never going to work. And before you ask, why don't I just play online with friends? Do I look like the kind of person who's friends with people who aren't skulls? So, despite it all, we're still not there yet. As much as it sucks. I just want one game. One perfect Halloween game. Is that honestly too much to ask for? Hang on, do you hear? What is that? Do you hear that? What is... Everybody, I present to you Halloween Forever. Released in October of 2016, Halloween Forever is a neo-retro game with a very in-your-face Halloween aesthetic, which I love, like a little baby piglet. The game is a side-scrolling platformer where you play as an anthropomorphic pumpkin in dungarees who has to... Wait, what was the story of this game again?
Deep within a forgotten pumpkin patch, an undead sorcerer lurks. He weaves an ancient spell and spirits begin to rise. He also apparently shoots Mountain Dew from his sleeves. He was just kind of weird like that. All Hallows Eve, now and forever, let the nightmare begin!
Okay, so an undead sorcerer weaves an ancient spell, and this pumpkin gives a look that says he does not want to deal with this shit tonight. Oh, for Pete's sake, not this fucker again. I'm not in mood. There's no more story after that, by the way. His eyes just turn green and then it goes straight to the main menu. Masterful storytelling. So I suppose you're just on a quest to defeat the undead sorcerer. Seems simple enough. At your disposal, you have a double jump and a projectile that... What the hell is that? Is that candy corn again? But what the hell even is candy corn? Like, I understand that it's an American sweet and it's associated a lot with Halloween, but like, what is it? Because it doesn't look like food. Well, either way, it's what you fire in this game. Your enemies range from dark mages who cast spells, chainsaw maniacs who charge at you, bats, skeletons, just a whole load of great Halloween staples. But all is not as it seems, for beneath this game's charming, spooky exterior is a really fucking hard game that I keep dying in and I really don't appreciate. Normally I wouldn't be into these super difficult games where you die over and over, but there's just something about Halloween Forever that stops me from rage quitting. I mean, apart from the first time I rage quit after I couldn't beat the first boss. And honestly, I don't think it's purely the Halloween aesthetic that keeps me playing. I think this game is just really good at making you want to get further into it. Get past where you last died and see the rest of the game. It teases you in such a way that makes you think that maybe you could have beaten that boss if you just jumped a little earlier, or hit him from the other side. It keeps you playing. And I'll tell you now, this game isn't forgiving. When you run out of lives, it is straight back to level 1 for you, which would normally be a deal breaker for me. I mean, even Castlevania didn't do that. But for some reason, this game just kept making me want to come back and try again. I know I said it wasn't the Halloween aesthetic that did it for me, but I'm a fucking liar. The art style of this game is obviously one of the reasons that I love it and keep playing, along with its fantastic soundtrack. It's not the best made game in the world. The controls can be a little stiff and unresponsive at times, which did lead to my death once or twice, which is a load of old Jamie McCrimmon. But honestly, this game is simply winning me over with its charm alone. It's not perfect, no. And it was honestly silly for me to expect it to be. We've played a lot of games tonight, and if I've learned anything, it's that nothing is perfect. Every game had its flaws, no matter how much I enjoyed them, but that's okay. Everything has flaws. In a kinda strange way, that's a lot like Halloween itself. Nothing is perfect on Halloween, but you still have a great time no matter what. The costumes can be cheap or inaccurate, the candy might give you a stomachache in the morning, and the horror film you're watching could be cheesy or just downright bad, but you still enjoy the time with your friends and family regardless. And if something is a bit rubbish, you can just point and laugh. It's all in the spirit of things. Was it a bit much to try and squeeze in a message at the end of this video? Probably, but I'm getting paid either way, so I don't really care. Thank you everybody for watching my Halloween video. I hope you all have a spooky Halloween, and remember to have fun and be good to one another. If you need me, I'll just be sat here waiting for the paycheck. Oh shit. I don't get paid for YouTube. Thanks for watching. Today's video was sponsored by Goats for You. How many goats do you own? That's not enough! Visit goatsforyou.com to purchase premium goats at low altitudes, or call our hotline to speak to our resident goat expert about goats or goat-related topics of your choosing. Goats for You. It's time!